What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you how to change the strings in a guitar with a Floyd Rose style bridge. So in order to do this, we're going to need a couple tools. So let's get started. For this, you're going to need a string winder / string stretcher, some wire cutters, an Allen wrench, a Phillips head screwdriver, a guitar tuner, and a world's smallest sock monkey. You can get one of these at Cracker Barrel if they still sell them. It comes in a box that says it actually works. So today we're going to test that. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your world's smallest sock monkey and you're going to want to just pull on that tremolo arm real good and jam the world's smallest sock monkey in there. Get him nice and comfortable, and he should be holding your bridge about level, so that way when you take all these strings off, it's not going to just spring way back and basically it's a lot harder to get the strings back on if your bridge is not level, and the springs are definitely going to just yank it back once you take the strings off.
Yeah, he's looking real comfy in there.
Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your Allen wrench and you're going to want to just loosen the double locking tremolo nut at the headstock, and you want to pop these things right off. Alright, the next step is to just unwind the strings and take them off. You're going to want to get them mostly loose, and then you're going to take your wire cutter and just cut them in half. Just take them right off. At this point, your sock monkey should be working pretty hard. You can ask him if he's okay. You know, tell him, give you a nod if he's all right. All right, looks like sock monkey's good to go. So we can move on to the next step, which is removing the strings. All right, now that we've got the strings nice and loose, they should all feel fairly loose. We don't want any strings flying and hitting people in the face right now. You're gonna take your wire cutters and you're gonna just clip your strings. So as for the other end of the strings, you want to take your Allen wrench. Oh, can focus on the So as for the other end of the strings, you want to take your Allen wrench, and sock monkey's kind of guarding where I need to get to, so we're gonna just have to ask him politely to move, and you're gonna loosen these little things on the back of your Floyd Rose, and that'll release the strings from these little blocks. You have to make sure, you want to be very careful not to lose the little piece of metal in here, because that's what these screws push on that keeps the strings in place. Now you want to be careful with these pieces of strings that come off, because it's not good for their digestive system, so you should throw these away right away. Alright, now that you've got all the strings off, you're going to want to take a slightly damp cloth and just wipe down everywhere you can't get to while the strings are on. You're going to want to use a different cloth for the neck than you're going to use for the body, because the neck might have little metal particles from the strings that could scratch the finish on the body. Alright, now because we're dealing with Floyd Rose tremolo, you don't actually feed the strings in through the bottom of the guitar. Instead, they go in through the top into the bridge near the sock monkey where we took them out. And to get them to fit correctly, we need to clip the little ball off the ends of the strings. So you're gonna just take your wire cutters and you're gonna go right to the end of that little extra thick section. You're gonna clip that. And this is where you gotta be really careful when you got small pets, because these little things go flying and they end up all over the house. You gotta make sure you find all 6 of them. Now you're gonna take your Allen wrench again, and you're gonna wanna take the end of your string that you just clipped, the low E string, and you're gonna try and fit it in there, and you're gonna find that it probably, oh look, it fits pretty well. But, get out of the way, monkey. You wanna loosen these things a little bit. Slip the string in there, make sure it's nice and centered. And then let your sock monkey do a little bit of the work while you tighten that string in place. So you're going to pull your string all the way through. You want to pull it back about 1 fret length. That gives you just about as much as you need to get a couple winds around. And since it's a real thick string, you don't want it winding too much around or it's just going to be awkward looking. So give it 1 fret, fold it, lock it in place, and you start tightening the string. Now as we tighten, you're going to want to make sure that the string goes under itself once and then over itself all subsequent turns. This will lock it in place so it has better tuning stability. So the first time it goes under itself. Let's pull it through. Then over itself and just let it lock itself into place. But don't get your finger stuck in there because that'll hurt real bad. Then you're going to want to take your wire cutters. You're going to just cut as close as you can get. There you go, 1 string done. Now we're just going to repeat the same process for the next 5 strings. Alright, this time with the A string, you're going to want to go all the way through, and you're going to make sure it's in the middle under this T right here. You want to be inside the 2 screws on that bar. You want to slide it all the way through, make this nice and straight. And then you're going to want to pull this one after it's all the way fully at tension, pull it back about 1.5 frets this time. You want to go a little further back than the low E string because it's a little thinner of a string. It can go around multiple times. Again, you're going to go underneath this, through the hole, pull it tight. This time you're going to go back 2 frets because this string's a little thinner and it can obviously wind around a few more times. Honestly, for even the thinner strings than that, you don't need to go back more than about 2 frets. You'll get plenty of winds for it to hold nice and tight, and if you go further than that, I mean, feel free, but you're just going to be twisting the thing a lot more times to get it to get in place. So it's a little easier if you just stop at 2. Now this time you're going to wind the other direction. You want the strings to always be on the inside as they're wrapping around. Alright, now on the high E string, again it goes outside a little screw. Alright, now that we've got all the strings back on the guitar, you're going to remove your world's smallest sock monkey. Hopefully your bridge should be in about the same location it was before. Once you want to tune it all up first before you adjust anything on the bridge. But yeah, you want to give your world's smallest sock monkey back to your cats. Yeah, kitty, yeah. Whee! Alright, now to stretch your strings, you're going to want to take your string stretching tool, which should be attached to your string winder tool, and you're going to want to put the tool underneath each string, and you want to stretch all the way down the length of the string. So after you've stretched all the strings, the next step is you want to take these knobs that are on your bridge and adjust them so that they're all about halfway down. You just give them a nice twist, about 3 or 4 twists, they'll be halfway down. These are going to be your secondary tuners after you get your guitar in tune, and they're going to be the things that you do your fine adjustments with at the end. Basically, these need to be adjusted first because at the very end it relies on everything being perfect and those being in the middle so you can adjust them either direction. The next thing you want to do is you're going to want to tune the guitar up using the headstock tuners. After tuning your guitar up, you want to check the level of the bridge. The bridge should be just about flat resting against the body. If it's not, then you're going to need to do some adjustments to the spring tension in order to make the spring tension match the string tension. Now to adjust the spring tension, you're just going to take this back panel off, and it'll give you access to the cavity where the springs are. And you want to turn the 2 screws that are under there in order to tighten or loosen the springs. And basically, if you tighten those screws, you're going to be pulling the bridge back into the body. If you loosen those screws, you're going to be pushing the bridge out of the body. And you just want to keep adjusting these screws and the tuning of the guitar until it's in tune and the bridge is flat level with the body.